It's Donna Brown here, the Work From Home Queen. I hope you're doing well. Heidi is 3 weeks old, so I thought I'd give you a 3-week update because I know a lot of you've been asking a lot of questions about her, a lot of PMs on Facebook asking me what's been happening, so here is my update video. Number 1, she had her tongue tie snipped. So Heidi had a tongue tie and we got it snipped the other day and that went really well. So it was only a very small tongue tie, but it was enough to stop her tongue from ever being able to go past her teeth, if she had teeth, so she couldn't really go past her gums and she couldn't really touch the top of her mouth. And generally speaking, a tongue tie does affect a baby's weight gain, but in her case it definitely did not. She is easily gaining a ton of weight for 2 reasons. One, actually no, really mainly one reason. I have a ton of milk to the point where I'm like undoing myself in the middle of the night and I'm like squirting her across the face and into the poor thing. I've got so much milk that I can just pour into her mouth. So she hasn't had any weight issues, which has been really good. She's gained a lot of weight. She's not a fatty Pumbaa, but she does have a double chin. I think you've seen it. But then again, so does Pickles and I. So sorry, Heidi, that was kind of going to happen. But she's gained lots of weight. She's really healthy. She's really pink. She's in the 95th percentile for her height. So she's a tall girl apparently. Everyone keeps telling me, well, you're pretty tall, but I don't think I'm that tall. I don't know, tell me. For those of you that know me, would you say that I'm tall? I never thought I was tall, but maybe I am. She's in the 75th percentile for her weight. She gained her birth weight back and then some within 48 hours. So she never lost a ton of weight. But they were worried her tongue tie might affect her speech. So doing like the TH sound and the S sound might have been difficult for her later on when she was older. So we got that snipped. For those of you that don't know, there's actually no nerves in the little bit of tissue underneath your tongue. It's a bit like an umbilical cord. When they cut it, she can't feel it. But they do cry because you're holding them down. And Heidi hates her hands being held down. She hates being swaddled. She likes to punch her way out if she can. So she screamed more when they were kind of holding her down. And I think she took a breath to do a big scream and they just went dunk and they just cut it and they let her go. So she was fine. And then they put her straight on the boob for soothing and comfort. But she was okay. So we got that done. So we had our appointment with the midwife and that's all good. She is, like I said, in the 95th percentile for her height, the 75th percentile for her weight. All her reflexes are good, everything is good. She does have a stalk mark on her eyelid, so she's got this kind of red mark on her eye that you may have seen in some of the pictures, and it's also at the back of her head. So they said that will fade as she gets older because it's basically a birthmark. I think one of her eyelids is a bit droopy though. I feel like sometimes her left eyelid is a bit droopy, just ever so marginally droopier than the other eyelid. But every time I show it to a midwife, they can't see it because her eyes are wide open or her eyes are shut. But I feel like when she's in this half state, I can see one of her eyelids shuts a little bit more than the other. So I'm going to keep an eye on that and watch it and try and take a photo or a video when I see it and show it to the GP at her 6-week appointment. They're not worried at the moment. They said it could just be her still adjusting from birth, but I'm not worried. But I just noticed sometimes it's a little bit droopier. Maybe she's just got a bit cockeyed, I don't know. So there's that. Now for her routines have changed. Obviously nothing stays the same. When she used to sleep in the morning, she now sleeps more in the afternoon, and that's a given. She's super alert. She has a ridiculously strong neck for a 3-week-old. She's constantly, as Nick calls it, like head bopping around and looking at things as you're holding her around. She's asleep at the moment, that's why I don't have her on the video. She's super strong, like she'll kick you and she'll punch her way out of a blanket if she can. I've actually just started trying to teach her to self-settle. So she is 3 weeks and I'm not actually ignoring her, but I want her to learn to not fall asleep by rocking. Because at the moment she can only fall asleep if she's being rocked or if she's being pushed in the pram. Now I notice in the middle of the night, I don't do that. So in the middle of the night when I kind of half dream feed her, I'm breastfeeding on demand. So when I hear her starting to stir and wake up, I look at my phone and if it's been 3 hours, like if it's reasonable, it's not like 1 hour where she's just woken up, but if it's reasonable for me to think that yes, she's probably hungry, I get her up, still while she's half asleep, she's like, I change her nappy, I chuck her straight in the boob, I feed her while she's still half asleep, I put her straight back down, wrap her up, done. No eye contact, no talking, very low light and a very low lamp just so I can barely see what I'm doing. No communication, no stimulation, nothing. I don't want her to wake up. I see a lot of mums talking about settling at night is really hard, but then I hear them saying that they're watching TV, they're playing with their phone, they're talking, they're snuggling, and I, for me, and obviously I'm not a pro, I've been a mum for 3 weeks, but in my personal experience, from what I've learned so far, it's too much stimulation, especially for Heidi, and I just think we do no talking, no eye contact, nothing. Done, warm, wrap up, straight back in her bassinet next to me, and I go straight back to bed. If she's a bit grizzly and she's not really falling back asleep, I shove a dummy in her mouth, and I just go, shh, just a quick, short, sharp, shh. So she knows I'm still there, she can hear me, but I don't want to talk to her. I want her to know I'm there, but I don't want her to want to listen to me, to interact with me. So I just do a shh. And she usually stops her and she can hear me and I'm like, shh, shh. And it's just enough for her to, and it might take half an hour of her going, all grizzly, but she eventually drifts off to sleep. So at night, that works really well. It's dark, obviously, when we go back to bed. We leave the low lit lamp room and go back to our bedroom, which is dark. And I realized, and I thought to myself, why is it so much easier for her to go to sleep like that than it is during the day? Now, obviously during the day is harder because it's daytime, there's light, but I wanted to try that kind of process. So at the moment, I'm kind of rocking her a little bit just to get her to relax and be drowsy. Then I wrap her, put her down, and I'm trying, today's the first day, I'm trying to teach her to self-settle, not to be rocked, because the little bugger takes forever to fall asleep during the day. She fights me on her day naps. And what happens is, you could be rocking her for an hour and you think she's asleep, and you go to put her down and she's like, bing, one eye open going, where are you going? Don't you dare put me down. I swear to God, that's what she's thinking. And everyone's who's come to try and do it have said to me, oh no, she's asleep. And I'm like, that's what you think. And then the minute they put her down, she's like, ping, where are you going? And so she needs to learn to do it on her own. I'm sorry, because I can't walk around with her for hours. If she's obviously if she's screaming, I'm talking to her, I go and get her. But for the most part, she's not. She's just, so she needs to learn to chillax. Sometimes I put her in the wrap and I walk around with her if I've got a particularly busy day and I just don't have time to keep going in and going shh and leaving the room and shh and leaving the room. So I do put her in a wrap. I'm not ignoring her. Don't worry, my baby's not being ignored. She's just learning to fall asleep on her own during the day. So for the most part, the other big lesson I learned is that just because a baby's tired doesn't mean they fall asleep. Pickles and I learned this the hard way about a week and a half ago. Heidi was screaming bloody murder. Have I done a video about this? I can't remember. If I've already done a video about this, I'm sorry. Basically, she went schizo. Schizo to the point where I couldn't calm her down, and it was very unlike for her because she's such a happy, mellow baby. I actually thought something was wrong. Either she was in pain or she was unwell. I took her temperature was okay. She was fed, she was warm. Then I thought maybe she was hot, so I let her cool down a bit. I took some clothes, I didn't have her so rugged up. She just screamed like crazy. Nick and I even were like, should we go to the hospital? Like, this is all normal for her. Eventually I got her to calm down to the point where I think she actually, like the next morning she was all like, I think she ruined her cords because she screamed so much, poor thing. And I couldn't figure out what her problem was, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized I think she was really, really tired. She'd been awake for hours before this had happened. She was way overstimulated, had played with lots of people, had been passed around by many people who wanted to hug her and kiss her. It was just too much. And I said to Nick, never again are we doing that. Because I looked it up and, a baby's awake time as a newborn might be, up to an hour at the most. And this had probably been on that day like 3 or 4 hours. It was way too much. So I said to Nick, our new rule is she's not awake for more than an hour unless she's really alert. Obviously as her weeks go by, she's going to get more and more awake and that period will extend. But she's only 3 weeks old. Let's be realistic here. So mama needs to put a little bit of boundaries in to make sure that she stays calm and cool and collected. So at the moment, her routine, although it's not set by calendar or by clock, the process is the same. She wakes, nappy change, feed, play, mucking around in her bouncer for an hour, sleep. Wake up, change, feed, sleep. Now, because she sleeps for a different amount of time, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours, there's no consistency in the time of day this happens, but the routine is the same. So that's really good. So we've been doing that and that has worked a treat. And you know what the biggest tip I can give anyone out there, any new mums watching? Don't give a rat's ass about anyone coming on a visit and wanting to hold. Stiff, shit. If she's asleep or if I'm putting her to sleep, she stays asleep. You do not go and talk to her. You do not go and peek in her room. You do not peek in her pram or in her bassinet or wherever she is just to go, oh, she's so cute. Because that little bugger has ears like a freaking eagle or whatever has good hearing. What has good hearing? A bat? and instantly she's awake. No, 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 no. So if you talk to her, I put her to sleep during the day with the radio playing so I can do these videos. Otherwise, if I did these videos, forget it. There's no way she's going to stay asleep. So I make background noise. But if you're actually talking to her, she tunes in and wakes up straight away. So that's been the big rule that I've put down. And anyone who knows me knows that I don't dance around all soft and gentle, and no one has argued me on it. They're like, okay, because if I let them in, like, you can come and visit me, but you ain't talking to her when she's asleep. So definitely keep that in mind if you're struggling. And like I was saying, so that routine, that cycle is the same, but the time of day it happens changes, and that's okay. You have to be flexible. I'm all right with that. We give her a bath every night. Not that she needs it. She's not that sweaty and stinky, but I think it really does calm her down, and I think it's a good routine for us to get into. Sometimes her bath is at 6 o'clock, sometimes her bath is at 9 o'clock. So whatever it is, we give her a bath every night, and her baths are like 5 minutes. It's just dunk in the water, splash, 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 quick, a bit of a rinse, out, feed, wrap, down, bang. But that's it, I think. Is there anything else I can tell you? I don't know. If there's something else you want to know, comment below and I'll make a supplementary video. That's all I can think about at the moment. Sorry. But other than that, everything's going really well. You may have seen on Facebook today, I've got horrific headaches at the moment. I'm not sure why. I did have an epidural because I had a C-section. So I don't know if it's that. I don't know if I'm out of alignment with my back. It could just be lack of sleep. I don't think I'm dehydrated because I'm drinking a ton of water. I'd show you my water bottle if it was here so you could see how much I'm drinking, but I don't. I honestly think it could be lack of sleep, but I will mention it to my GP soon. And that's the other thing I'm going to do. It has only been 3 weeks since I had a Caesar, but god damn it, I need to drive. I'm sick of being trapped at home. Look, Safeway is within walking distance of my house, but that's it. And for my international friends, Safeway is a supermarket. So I am thinking of, I rang my insurer to ask them when I can drive legally, and they said as long as your doctor gives you the okay, you can drive whenever you want. So I'm gonna ring my GP next week after 4 weeks, because I reckon even if I go now, even though I am perfectly fine, I've been walking fine, I've been doing stuff. I think just the hearing 3 weeks would freak a few people out, so I'm gonna wait till 4 weeks, because 4 weeks just has a better feeling than 3 weeks. So I'm gonna get someone to drive me to my GP next week so she can have a look over me and go, yep, you're hunky-dory, and give me the sign off so I can start driving. Woo! Mama's gonna go to the shops during the day. Woo! I can't wait. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any other things that you would like to know updates on, whether it's me, Heidi, Pickles, Ninja, whatever, let me know. And I'll see you next time. Oh, before I forget, I weighed myself. Yes, I did weigh myself on day 18 after giving birth. And because we don't have scales, so when I found scales at the midwife's clinic, I went and weighed myself, and I'd lost 11.6 kilos, so almost 12 kilos in 18 days, which is ridiculous. Obviously, some of it was Heidi because she was just shy of 4 kilos, and I lost the placenta and a lot of fluid, so that's all good. But some of it is actually me losing fat. Can you tell my face is a bit skinnier? And if the camera's lower, you can see I've lost a bit of my belly. Woohoo for breastfeeding. See you next time. Bye.